Hi guys, welcome to the tutorial of Azure Virtual Machine. So today I'm going to discuss regarding to the Azure Virtual Machine configurations, its purpose and the parameters which we will use. So I will elaborate some parameters in the creation time. So let's go to the portal. Here we will just search the Azure Virtual Machine, then create the virtual machine by that create button. Now we just create a resource group, so we call it RG VM. Select OK, then the virtual machine name VM1, then we select the region, and in the availability options we can see like we have availability zone, virtual machine skill set and availability set. So it depends like which region we are, so according to the region we can see those parameters in under the availability options are different. So if we change the region to some other like central US, or let's go to the Australia one, and we can see here that there is no availability zone because it's exhausted maybe, but we can select the availability set, but it will definitely cost you. So it depends on the requirement. In availability set all the things are under one data center, but in availability zone three different regions, so we can use those according to the requirement. And then we go to the next option, the security one. So we can just go with the standard one and line the image, select the data center server, Windows Server 2019. So we select that, but you can select according to your own requirement. So let's select it, and okay, so okay, the size, we need to change the size under this region, or we can change the region. Maybe the size is exhausted, there is no more availability for that, so we can change the sizes. uh, let's change it to another size, not this one. Let's change, go back, change. Okay, this is okay, so we can go with this region and select 2019 status center. So we can select the username, so depends on you. So here I will select the username as VM, and password I will type my password over here, and again the same password. Yes, it's regarding to the inbound security rules, so we can select uh, like these basics security rules over here. So I am going to create a web server later on, so I will select these two options and use the virtual machine as a web server and RDP rule, so we don't need to create separate rules in the networking portion. Here we can select the OS disk type like standard or premium or OS, whatever you want. So the best option is like standard SSD because premium will be costly. So but right now I'm just using the premium, and these options are like optional, like if you want to delete the VM it will delete the OS, something like that. So just keep them default, and encryption type you can change according to the requirement or go with the default one. And then we can see the advanced options. If you want, you can change but not in this case there is no change. So we go to networking tab, and under networking we need to create a new subnet under new virtual network, because I don't have any other virtual network under the resource group RGVM. So it is going to create automatically, or you can create your own, like by this create new option we can select it like this way. So we can also create the virtual network for a new one. You can change the address space or subnet over here, but right now I don't want to change anything. I just go with the default one. And here NIC security, like you can go with the basic and change later, or you can just select the network security group or create a new security group and rules. So right, like before I already have like some rules regarding the inbound rule of RDP, HTTP, HTTPS. So it will go with that, and it's better to select the accelerated network for better performance of the network. And if you have load balancer, you need to select this option and then choose the load balancer, but we don't have so much traffic right now, so just ignore that. Load balancing is, it's a separate topic. I will cover load balancing in next series, which is all about networking. So I'm going to start that in like next month. Something is missing in networking. I think now is okay. Okay, management, we don't need to change anything, or we can change them later on. Or if you want like auto shutdown, it's better to give some time so the virtual machine automatically shut down and saves your money if it's not a server, web server, or it's not in the production. So you can use like this way to save the cost, and select the time zone, whatever region you want you can select it. And then you can also give the notification via email or uncheck. And then we can go with the backup option. So backup option, it will create like default recovery vault, or you can create a new recovery vault, but it all will cost extra charges for you. So if it's some production machine, then you can use such options. Otherwise there is no need for like testing purposes or small scale business, which is okay to run without any recovery or backup. And same as like site recovery as well, you can ignore in a small level. And patches, if you want to enable, you can, but we don't need, it's already a new OS, so there is no patch right now. I don't think so it will be like soon. So just go with the default settings and then go to the next tab called advanced. So in that like some options, but we don't need like such kind of options for to configure one by one. We just go with the default settings. And tags, if you want, you can select the name VM1. So value, you can select it any value, 1 or 2 or like 100, any one according to the requirement. So it will show for like different big organization, because that time you need tags for production, which VM is under production and which VM is under like development. So you can differentiate that one as well. So in that case you need that, but right now I don't need. We already explained tags in the last series, so I will share the link with this video, so you can go and check that tags tutorial, and then just click to the review and then create the virtual machine. And it will take like couple of minutes, about 2 to 3 minutes. So I will pause the video and come back after it will create the virtual machine. So the virtual machine has been created. We just go to resource group. So right now the virtual machine is having this public IP address, and we can use the virtual machine and RDP to that virtual machine. Let me give the name VM and password. I think we selected the same name. Yeah, and then I will also show you some other features and things. Let's see this virtual machine loading, and I will simply run some web server over here. So I will create a web server by going to server management, so it will not take a long time, and in the meantime I will show you some other options under Azure portal. So it's going to load the server, so we just need to select the network, so it takes the network from our system. So it's loading the server manager dashboard, and then I will quickly create a web server role. I mean install the role on this server, so we can use the public IP and access this web server. So we can also use a virtual machine uh, like hosting machine. So just go like this, and web servers we need, so we select web server IIS and then just install. So it takes a while. I will pause it and then I will return back after it will complete. And so apart from the virtual machine, I will show you about the virtual machine performance and CPU things. We can see from the uh, dashboard for this virtual machine. Like we can just directly go to monitoring. So for monitoring we can see the CPU utilization, disk speed and network like things. So if we have like problems, or we feel like there is a high usage, or like a DDoS attack, or the utilization of CPU is going high, so we can just monitor from this dashboard. Yeah, it's a very good tool, and just a simple thing without going or adding some extra um, softwares, or need to take any other extra services. We just directly come here and check the CPU or anything according to the, and we can select the time over here, like previously 1 hour, 6 hour, last 12 hours or 30 days, so it can reach to the 30 days. But if you want like more than 30 days, then you need to create a support ticket to Azure backend team, and then they will tell you about the logs details. So this is like a dashboard for the virtual machine. There are other things like we selected the auto shutdown option, so we can select or remove from here. So over there we select it, so it's already here, and we can off it as well. It depends. And also like the disaster recovery, we just ignore that, we didn't use. We can use if we want. We can use the settings and configure the things over here, but it will always cost you money, so depending upon your requirement. So also in the meantime we can also use or change the disk. So if we feel like that we need a larger space, larger RAM or smaller RAM, we can just directly change from here, and it will resize the virtual machine, but it will give you option running and it will restart. so keep that in mind if the machine is in production, but we can just do it with a simple click over here. And also the disk, we can change the disk or copy the disk uh, from this option. I will show you this tutorial about the disk copying and attaching to another VM in some other tutorial, not in this one. And if we want to configure like ports for this specific virtual machine, just click set networking under the settings and add inbound rule. So we can create inbound rule for HTTPS because there is no inbound rule, so maybe that's why we cannot see the page before. Port 80 and I think 80 is okay, and destination so so this is how we can create the rule. We can also create application security group or load balancing rule after. And let's refresh this page. So port 80 is configured. Let's go to overview and select copy, paste the public IP. So still we cannot reach to that page, maybe because of the firewall, internal firewall of the VM, but it's okay, the VM is working fine, so we can also uh, see it later. And apart from that, we can also give the access of this virtual machine to any other user with this access control. I have a video regarding to that. I showed you about how to give access, so I will share the link of access control tutorial with this video, and you can find it out in the description later on. And apart from that, we can go to this monitoring section and click on the insights. It's very powerful tool. If we want to enable, we can enable it, and it's like a Azure monitor group, like Azure monitor. So one of the product from Azure monitoring tool, so we can see the insights of virtual machines. Apart from that simple dashboard of CPU utilization or disk things, we can use it for our requirement or purpose. If you will forget the username or password, we just need to go to the reset password option, select the reset password, and here we need to provide a new reset new username and then password, and then just update the password, so it will update it, and then you can log in to the VM. So it's very convenient. So this is the overview for the virtual machine, and I showed you the virtual machine, and we'll get into the virtual machine. So I hope you like this video, and I will come with another video in coming days. So till then, have a good time. Bye bye.